What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome to the Warframe video. We are in the third of three on that public test cluster information ripped right from the innocent hands of people that actually played the public test cluster. I'm sitting here pretty, not having to do this stuff twice. So I appreciate everyone that hooked me up with some gameplay and all that kind of stuff for this video. And the purpose of today's video is, unlike the previous two where it was like a very specific topic, like the first one was Steel Essence changes, Steel Path, second one was weapon stats, this one's just like a grab bag of stuff. Stuff that I was not specifically about weapons, not specifically about Steel Essence, other stuff. And now keep in mind, this is not all inclusive, this isn't everything they're changing, but this is just like a bunch of stuff that I've found pretty interesting, so keep that in mind. So without further ado, let's get into it. And make sure to sub to this YouTube channel if you've not already, for all those Warframe video uploads. Alright, let's start with the first one. Now, this is is not super important to most people, but, you know, to that one guy in the forums that always reports this as a bug, Garuda's Talons finally are affected by Blood Rush and Weeping Wounds. Previously, you could equip them, and they wouldn't do anything, but you could have them on there. Now, the Weeping Wounds and Blood Rush will work. So there you go. It's going to work on her Talons, which are still worse than the Venka Prime stat-wise. But, you know, that's good for people that unequip melee weapons on Garuda and want to actually, use those not very... Because like, you'll get orange crits. I think you can use the Gladiator mods as well, and maybe you'll get red crits there. But yeah, so let's move on to the next one. We got Zephyr's mini rework thing. And here's just a clip of how her new tornadoes will work. You can basically have stationary tornadoes, and I think if you hold the button down, they'll be seeking tornadoes still. And then there's her second ability, sucking the enemies into her tornado. So that looks pretty good, actually. You know what? Maybe I'll play Zephyr a little bit after that change. I consider that a really nice change for Zephyr. All right, next thing we're going to go over is we're going to go over the Wisp Augment mod, which is going to be when you teleport to the reservoir, you get increased critical chance for snipers. Here it is, making the crit chance for the Chroma very consistent. And I think this is without even like a critical chance Riven. Also, notice how this scales with power strength. So the more power strength you have in your Wisp build, I mean, a lot of people mod for high power strength on the Wisp. You can have a lot of crit chance on these sniper rifles. And just on like the Rubico Prime, you'll be getting red crits most likely. With that amount of strength, 350%. So, pretty good stuff there. Now, here's another one that not a lot of people have been talking about. Chroma has a new passive. Chroma now he can bullet jump again while mid-air. He gets his wings out. So this is with Arcane Consequence. You are moving with Chroma. And on that second bullet jump, he will get his little wing things, which is kind of cool. Also, Chroma, I think his first ability lets you switch between the elements now, so you don't need to worry about, you have full fashion frame customization options now with Chroma, and having to pick specific energy colors for different elements. So I think that's kind of cool. You know, not like, you can't like burninate the peasants with you're not actually flying, is what I'm trying to say. You're just gonna be jumping again, which is, you know, you can be in the air for a long time on Chroma, so I consider that overall a good change, because his passive is getting replaced by rotating functionality on his one. Now here's another really good one right here. We've got Gauss's new augment mod, where if you run to a wall, you create a mini Vauban vortex. And this scales with range, but it does not scale with duration, so it will not completely invalidate Vauban. So high range will be good here. And this is going to be really strong. But yeah, duration does not matter. So even though you do mod for high duration on Gauss a lot of the time, you might need to take that narrow-minded down a couple ranks, so you have increased range. And that will be really... Honestly, those guys are just basically dead once you run to a wall with this. So I wouldn't say go for maximum range, but I'd say go for like maybe 150 range-ish if you could fit that on there. All right, let's move on to the Necramech. And I have some feedback on this Necramech for sure. Oh, by the way, like we're not going to really go over the Revenant Augment, where he gets increased primary damage for every thrall he has. Just know it scales with power strength, and they need to buff guns to make them actually viable if they want me to consider that playstyle for Revenant. Especially because Revenant doesn't even need weapons, for the most part. So, all right, here's the new Necramech. First ability on the new Necramech. You grab an enemy and impale them. What purpose does this serve? I have no idea, but it sure looks really funny. So you know what? Maybe that's enough. This Necramech, I'm just going to tell you right now, like, the first Necramech, I don't even use its other abilities besides its 4, like the super gun. So this Necramech better have a good 4. Oh, don't you worry till we get to that 4. The 4 sucks. Alright, the second ability on the new Necramech. What does this one do again? It pulls out a shield. And it will take some extra damage while you have the shield up. And I think you can bash people with the shield as well. So, I mean, it's probably cool to DE, but I don't think it's going to be very useful. Look at the third ability for the Necramech, which is going to pull enemies in front of you into a singular area. And it does not have very aggressive pulling at all. I'd say definitely buff this one to make the pulling more powerful. Because you gotta also keep in mind, we don't have many mods for these Necramechs. I think there's is there a Necramech range mod? I believe there is, but it's only one Necramech range mod. That one does not seem very powerful at all. I'd say maybe make it pull enemies in and then briefly stun them as well. And then that's making it a little bit better. The impaling attack, what are you gonna even do with this? I guess make it so you can tear an enemy in half and get guaranteed health and energy orbs. That would be kind of cool. Because Necramechs do have a bit of an energy issue sometimes, so maybe guaranteed energy orbs would be kind of nice. And here's the Necramech's fourth ability. Now remember, the Void Rig Necramech does 100,000 damage per shot. I think it even crits too. So the Void Rig Necramech is insane. That's the one we already have. Here's the fourth ability for the new one. Now this is not fully modded out, so keep that in mind. But we'll show you the stats of this exalted melee for the Necramech as well. Strub, this thing should one-shot nearly any enemy you fight. It does not with this current build of this current stat distribution they have. So they need to buff this a lot. They need to really buff that, because here's the stats of it. This is the stats of the Bone Widow Necramech's fourth ability. 0.83 attack speed, 5% critical chance, 1.5 multiplier, 15% status, and 390 damage. I believe the Karis Prime is better than this. And this thing is swinging around a gigantic, space blade. So you need to buff this, triple all the stats. Literally, triple all the stats. The attack speed, I guess, is fine. It looks like it has a good oomph to it. But let's put some base stats on there to back that up. I'd say make it so it's able to red crit. That would be sick. Make it where, honestly, just make it the best melee ever, but you have to use a Necramech to rock it. Because here's the thing, Necramechs are relatively squishy in the grand scheme of things. You have to use Vazarin or something like that to heal them, if they haven't nerfed that already. And this is going to drain, if you saw right there, it does drain energy per second. You cast the 4, and you're losing energy. He's about to run out of energy I think he runs out of energy in this clip, actually. So, yeah, it's got some, he picked up energy orb, there you go. But yeah, there's only one Necramech Streamline mod, and that is definitely something that could get worked on. Alright, the rest of the stuff we have here is just pictures. So here's Zaku's buff, or one of Zaku's buffs. That's not even max range, but this is how big Gaze will be with 235% range. So keep in mind, you can go 50% more range than that. It will be gigantic, guys. So this will make Zaku's armor strip a lot better. A lot better. So good stuff there. That's not max range, like I said. So keep an eye on Zaku being really good. Maybe not really good, but this ability being a lot less annoying to use. How about that? Then we've got some new abilities for the Predicites and Vulpaphylas. Now, I really wish that D would have just actually, watched my videos on the Predicites and Vulpaphylas, because, basically all of them suck, besides, one or two. And these abilities are not really what they need. Although the Vulpaphyla one is pretty cool. Alright, we've got the Vulpaphyla new ability, Martyr Symbiosis. Drain and store 20 health from corpses within 25 meters up to 20% of their master's health. Sacrifice itself to heal the master if they fall below 10% health. So it's going to be a mini Necros, sort of, but it's not going to give you more loot. It's just going to, register that enemies died near you and store up health up to 20% of your master's max health. So if you were playing a Naros, that would be 2,000 health? Maybe a little bit lower. So that's kind of good there. It will sacrifice itself, and remember, the Vulpaphylas are actually kind of good because they can come back from the dead. They will die and then go into larval sentinel state and then come back 20 seconds later. So that's pretty nice there. It can give you some, if you're about to die, it can give you emergency a little bit of health. Probably won't save you, to be honest. Shield getting is what saves you in a lot of these situations at higher levels. But it's a cool ability at least. I'll probably put it on some of my Vulpaphylas if I'm playing a health focused build. And that's that is anti-Garuda synergy there, right, though. But who really cares? Alright, and then we've got, now this is why I wish they actually watched my videos. We got the Predicites, Volatile Parasites. So I was really hoping they would add something to make the Predicites actually come back from the dead, just like the Vulpaphylas. Why, do you really gotta be that obvious of a cat person, DE? But here we go. We've got in combat, spit a maggot every 15 seconds. The maggot latches onto the nearest enemy and provokes other enemies within 40 meters to attack them. It then explodes, dealing 400 Vior damage in 10 meters. At least it has decent range on the aggro drawing function. The explosion's only 10 meters, but you know, if the enemies are melee, they'll run in and attack that target. So I guess it could be worse. I really feel like they should have added something that says like every maybe like every 20 targets that the Protocyte assists in killing, it gains a res charge. So like after it assists in killing like 20 targets, it will come back from the dead next time it dies. Something like that, because yeah, it's annoying to res them. And the Vulpaphylas just destroy them all around. We've got the new bounty right here. Now keep in mind, you need to clear a isolation vault to get access to this new bounty, and they're going to have those new arcanes, which are, I said in my previous video, they're going to be really bad. Guys, they are, okay? Person in the comments white knighting for the terrible arcanes, shut up. You are literally just wrong. You're trying to be contrarian. They suck, and he needs to completely rework them, because we're not standing still in a pool. You need to kill enemies with the kit guns to get these crappy pools, and yeah, they deal like what, like 80 damage? Okay? Come on, just like, we need to move forward here, not just be spinning our wheels because we don't feel like disagreeing with what DE's numbers they're choosing for these things are, okay? A lot of these bounties are just similar to the ones we have right now. I'm not going to spoil the bounties because I think it's more fun to figure it out yourself on launch. I kind of wish they didn't put the new bounties in the public test server. There was no real purpose for that, since they gave all the players rank 5 arcanes already. It was just kind of, I don't understand why they did that, but you know, whatever. And then here's the best change of them all. Hunting is no longer required to rank up in Deimos. You can buy sun tokens for materials. This is going to be at Grandmother, and you can just give her like gems and fish parts to buy sun tokens, Grandmother tokens, etc., etc. So great stuff there. A couple other things that will be changed. There's going to be, well, there's no big boss fight they're adding in here. Keep that in mind. The Latrox drone, that bounty step everyone hates, that's getting removed. Well, the drone is getting removed. I think that step of the bounty is still going to be there. What else we got? There's just so many things, guys. I definitely forgot some stuff here, but I think let's just keep it at that, okay? Let some stuff still be a surprise in the end. By the way, at the end of this sortie, I got a rifle ribbon mod, and I now have 181 ribbons, so I'm in trouble. I need to actually destroy some ribbons or sell some ribbons or something like that. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. I'd say, so my overall thoughts on Deimos Arcana. They really need to buff those infested companions. Those Protocyte abilities are laughable. I want them to have revive mechanics, because you're giving those, why are you giving those to the cats, you're not giving those to dogs? Don't get me wrong, the Protocyte with Mecha Empower, or whatever it's called, the Mecha mod set, actually can be pretty strong. But the fact that it's not strong enough that I'm like, oh, I'm not going to use the Panzer Vulpaphyla over this. So that needs some changes. The arcane sets, man, like, they are just not good. Because the thing is, you have to remember, you're taking off mods like you're taking off arcanes like Arcane Energize or Pax Charge or Pax Seeker for these arcanes. Now, to be fair, maybe the heat one will be kind of nice, some AoE heat procs, AoE electric procs, etc., etc. But the fact you have to kill them with the kit gun, I think, really holds them back. So yeah, that's going to be mostly my opinions on it. I think that some of the augment mods kind of suck. I think the Zephyr... Okay, we didn't even talk about Necros and Zephyr. The Necros and Zephyr changes are not very impactful at all. I mean, I'll try the Zephyr one out, but the Necros one where he makes like a shadow, like... okay, so here's something that could be cool. Maybe make it where Necros' second ability, Terrify, it makes the instant kill threshold for the Soul Punch higher. So with a really high power strength Necros build, you can start one-shotting enemies like around 80% health. Would that be broken? I mean, no, because it's so slow. Even with natural talent, you're killing one enemy at a time, where melee would kill them like 10 times faster. So the Nidus change is cool, where he gets stacks just by killing enemies in the larva. I think it's like a 35% proc chance to get an extra stack when killing a enemy in larva without your stomping. So yeah, guys, I will talk to you next time. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Hope you found all the videos helpful. Thanks again to the Discord server for all the assistance in creating this video. I literally could not do it without you guys. You literally are the reason this videos exist, and I appreciate it. Now, we don't know when the Deimos Arcana update will come out. I'd say keep farming Steel Essence. If you look at it this way, you get 300 Steel Essence in 2 hours. That's 3 Umbra Formas in 2 hours, guys. I need to start farming more steel essence. I should have like 2,000-3,000 at this point. But man, I'm just busy. So I'm watching The Witcher right now, dude. I took so long to watch The Witcher. The Witcher is actually a really good show on Netflix. So I'm on like episode like 6 right now, and you know it's good. So I'll talk to you guys next time. Take it easy. Peace.